Continue. So we'll continue reading from 18. Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, text 18. Naivam tasya kritenartho
नव तस्य कृतेनार्थो
na krite neha kashan
न कृतेने कश्चन
na chasya sarvabhutesu
न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु
कश्चिद अर्थाव्यपाश्रयः.
कश्चित् स्यात् अपावृत्तिः।
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living beings. Purport. A self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duties, save and except activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not in activity either, as it will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man, or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in discharge of his obligation. All right, so we'll read some slokas and then we'll discuss. Who wants to read this one? Next one.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Tasmad askataha satatam karyam karma samachara askato he acharan karma param apnoti purushaha. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. Purport. The supreme is the personality of the Godhead for the devotee and devotees, and liberalization for the personalist. A person therefore acts for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of the work is certainly making progress towards the supreme goal of life. Arjuna is told that he should fight in the battle of Kurukshetra for the interest of Krishna because Krishna wanted him to fight. To be good man or non-violent man is a personal attachment, but to act on behalf of the Supreme is an act without attachment for the result. That is perfect action of highest degree recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of impure activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reaction of the good or evil work. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the result but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all kind of activity but is completely non-attached. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we'll go next sloka. Who wants to read?
Can I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Anju Mataji.
कर्मणेव हि संसिद्धि मास्तिता जनकादाय लोक संग्रह में वापी संपश्यंत कुरुत महर्षि. Translation. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duty. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your task. Purport.
King like Janaka were all self-realized souls. Consequently, they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duty in the Vedas. Nonetheless, they performed all prescribed activities just to set examples for the people in general. Janaka was the father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Sri Rama. Being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendently situated, but because he was the king of Mithila, he had to reach his subjects how to perform prescribed duties. Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord eternal friend, had no need to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, but they fought to teach people in general that violence is also necessary in a situation where good arguments fail. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, every effort was made to avoid the war, even by the supreme personality of Godhead, but the other party was determined to fight. So, for such a right cause, there is a necessity for fighting. Although one who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have any interest in the world, he still works to teach the public how to live and how to act. Experienced person in Krishna consciousness can act in such a way that other will follow, and this is explained in the following verse. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. We'll go to the next sloka. Anybody wants to read this one? 21. Sarvesh Prabhu, do you want to read this? 21. Hare Krishna. Sarvesh Prabhu or Nagrani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, something happened to my daughter. She's crying. That's why I just turned that side.
Okay. Okay, you want to read later or now?
Yes, 22 I'll read, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Then 21, if nobody's reading, I can read.
Yes, please do it. Let's not waste time. Yeah.
Yadya charati shreshta stadevetaro janaha sa yatpramana kurute lokasta danuvatate. Whatever actions a great man performs, common man follows. And whatever standards he sets for exemplary actions, all the world pursues. Purport. Hello?
Yes,
Yes, I can hear.
Mataji, you
Purport. People in general always require a leader who can lead the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. One who teaches is in that way is called acharya or an ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principle of Shastra, scriptures, to teach the common man. A teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principle of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures like Manu Samhita and similar others are considered as standard book to be followed by human society. Thus, the leaders teaching should be based on the principles of such standard shastras. One who desires to improve himself must follow the standard rule as they are practiced by the great teacher. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in footsteps of great devotees, and that is the way of progress on the path of spiritual realization. A king or an executive head of state, the father and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of an innocent people in general. As such, natural leaders have the great responsibility to their dependents. dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and spiritual codes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Mantaji. Okay, give me a second. So we read so far. I'm just getting you summary. So we started with 17, 18,
18.
18. Okay, so we go back a little bit. So in the last sloka, 16, if you see, Krishna is saying, my dear Arjuna, one who does not follow the human cycle, human life in the human life cycle of sacrifice, thus established by Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for satisfaction of senses, such a person lives in vain. So, sinful life is that, as per Bhagavad Gita, the sinful life is one which we just live for ourselves. So we just live for ourselves, but we don't recognize who is supplying everything in my life, right? So, not recognizing the source of everything we enjoy and not expressing gratitude, we become thief because we are taking a lot of things from the world, but we don't recognize who is the supplier, who is, and essentially even we use this body, but we don't recognize who created this body. I did not create this body, but we don't even have time to think about that who created me, who is maintaining me, who is how I'm sleeping and waking up, how I'm breathing daily, what where the air come from, where the water, air, fire, everything, sunlight, who is supplying it so regularly. So that is life called thievery or sinful life. That life is considered bane, a waste, especially the human form of life, right? So now next, so what should we do? But Krishna is saying, but for one who takes pleasure in self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is self-satisfied in self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty. So when we live a general life, we have a lot of duties, right? Like whatever stage you are in life, whether as a kid or you grow up, you get married, you become parent, you get old, there is a duty, prescribed duties. Prescribed duties means it is being imposed on us. It's not that we decide I have to do this. It's just situationally you have to just do it, whatever position you are. Either imposed by necessities we have. So, for example, we need to maintain this body, so we have to take care of it better. Like we have to sleep better, have nice food, um, take clean this body, you know, take fresh air, all this, don't take any kind of toxic things so that the body works. So we maintain this body, we have to do so much to just maintain this body. And if we have dependent, our family members, then we have to work for them, like, provide them everything if they are dependent on us. Or, but the question is, why do we maintain this body, right? Why do we take care of so much of this body? Because we know that this body is an instrument, right? Like hands, tongue, ear, eyes, mouth, everything, this whole body, the legs, everything is an instrument to experience this world, right? If we don't have eyes, how I can see? If somebody don't have ear, they cannot hear. So to experience this world, we need this body, right? When this body stops, not there is some problem, or the capacity to hear or seeing or breathing or anything, walking, talking reduces, then we say, we are sick. But especially, some deadly disease affect this body, some kind of, some organ failure happens, or people get cancer because some body part is not working well, it's overgrowing, so-called cancer. So then we know that this machine is going to stop now. So that's a fear of death, right? And this fear of death, why? Because we don't know what is purpose of this body. We thought this body was given to me to enjoy, and if this body stops working, then I cannot enjoy, and therefore there is a fear. What will happen to me next? You know, but if somebody tells you you will get another body, a fresh body, don't worry. If this is going bad, you get a new one. Like example of car. If your old car is going bad and somebody comes, don't worry, just trash it. I'll give you a new car. Then you are happy. You don't lament or. So sinful life, that's a fear that people don't know what will happen. But in some person who is spiritual, they know what is self. They know that I am a spirit soul. This body is a machine. Based on my karmas, I will get another body. Therefore, if I am leading good life as per spiritual code and moral codes, then my next life is guaranteed. And I can decide what would be my next life. So for them, these obligatory duties become very less. And then they have a duty towards next life because they are preparing for next. They are not just engrossed in the current life, right? So a self-realized person has no purpose to fulfill in discharge of his prescribed duties, nor he has any reason to perform such work, nor he any need to depend on another living being. So self-realized means, if you remember, we had discussed self-realized. What does self-realization mean? To realize that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, and I am part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And I, as a spirit soul, minute spirit soul, and Krishna as a supreme spirit soul, has a relationship. But I don't know what is that relationship. And therefore, I have to discover that relationship. That is spiritual life, to find out what relationship I have with God, with Krishna. This is whole Bhagavad Gita, to find out. All of us have relationship with Krishna. All of us, very personal relationship, but we don't know. But this spiritual process helps you to discover that. So then you know, okay, this is my realization about self. I am spirit soul. I am part and parcel of Krishna. I have a relationship with Krishna, and now I have to find out what is that relationship. Last millions of lifetime, I don't know. I lost that. So let me rediscover it, right? Rediscover it. So then you are not dependent on anything, because then your duty is everything what Krishna says, and you're trying to fulfill desires of Krishna, and you're not dependent on any other living being. Why? Because every living being is being supplied by whom? Every living being is maintained by whom? Even within your family. It's Krishna. You we are just instrument, but supplier is Krishna. Everything is supplying for everyone. We are just manipulating or owning, trying to make ownership. But if every living entity is maintained by Krishna, then why I should be dependent on any living entity? I should be dependent on Krishna because anyways he's maintaining everyone, he's providing everyone. And practically you can experience in your house there will be a lot of bugs, the ants, the cockroaches. Who provides them food? Do we anytime go and offer them, okay, here cockroach, let's eat dinner time, lunch time, no breakfast, it's a nice dosa idli, this is you should eat? Or this ant or rat, rabbits, so many animals out there, who provide them food? We are so much in anxiety every day. What will happen if I don't have a job? What will happen if I don't have money? Who provide these animals shelter, food, every facility? They produce childrens. They have kids. Kids are also maintained by Krishna. Right? So therefore, we don't have to be dependent on anyone because everyone is maintained by Krishna. And if you're not dependent on anyone, and you know that what is my purpose in self-realization, then you're not attached to the results of your action. And whatever you're doing as a matter of duty, right? You just like a bank cashier. The bank cashier takes the money, crores of rupees, counts it as a matter of duty. The cashier is not attached to the money, right? It's just doing for duty, and he knows that based on if I am honest, I will get salary, right, by the bank, and he's just doing his duty. He's not attached to those money. For him, money is the paper. He's just doing the counting. But if you give an ordinary person that money, then they will think, oh, let me take this. Let me take it away, right? So same way, even if you are working in this world, dealing with all kind of affairs, if you are Krishna conscious and you remember your duty is to remember Krishna, try to satisfy Krishna, and realize what relationship I have with Krishna, then you are not attached and you do everything but as a matter of duty, right? An example Krishna gives here, Janaka, King Janaka, who was the relative, of Ram. He just did his duty and he achieved perfection. And why these great people do their duty? Just to educate people in general. So somebody can say, why you should work? You should work because so that other people don't become inactive, right? So next is sloka, Krishna is saying, whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. Whatever standard he set by exemplary act, all the world pursues. So once you become God conscious, you become sannyasi or brahmachari, or you are, suppose even if you're dedicated for Krishna, we should not become inactive. We should act and actually do more action, because then you are a great person. If you are following Krishna, then you are following a supreme personality of Godhead, who is the biggest person, owner of the whole cosmos. Then you will be a great person. So you have to work, or I have to work, all of us have to work to set an example. Why? So that the other people don't become lazy. They think, oh, take this Krishna conscious path, become lazy. Get free food, enjoy life, sleep, and that's it, right? So no, we want to be exemplary, because if we follow Krishna, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we have to show by our action that yes, Krishna conscious person is dynamic person, very active, not lazy and crazy, right? We are not beggars. So a lot of people believe that deities are beggar, but then we have to show by our example, right? So let's go to text 22. Nagrani Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन अवाप्तव्यं वर्त एव च कर्मणि. O son of Partha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in the Vedic literature as follows. Tam Ishvaranam Paramam Maheshwaram, Tam Devatanam Paramam Cha Daivatam, Patim Patinam Paramam Parastad, Vidhama Devam Bhuvanesha Medium, Na Tasya Karyam Karanancha, Vidyatena Tatsama Chabya Adikascha Drusyate, Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva, Shruyate Swabhaviki Gnana Balakriyacha. The Supreme Lord is the controller of all other controllers, and he is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. All entities are delegated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipable by all demigods and is a supreme director of all directions. Therefore, he is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. There is no one greater than him, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. He does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of his senses can perform the action of any other scene. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potential is it. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence. Svetas says Svetas Swatathara Upanishad 6.7 to 8. Since everything is in full of opulence in the personality of Godhead and is existing in full truth, there is no duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to perform. One who must receive the results of work has something designated duty, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly has no duty. And yet, Lord Krishna is engaged on the battlefield of the Kurukshetra as the leader of Kshatriyas because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although he is above all the regulations of the revealed scriptures, he does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Krishna is saying very nicely, he is explaining, Arjun, name parthastha kartavyam trisu lokesu kinchana nana vaptavapyapyam varta eva chakarmani. He's saying, Arjun, I am the supreme lord of all planetary systems. Actually, I don't have to do anything. But still, you will see, I'm sitting as your charioteer in this battle of Kurukshetra. I'm driving your chariot. You know, I am actually right now. I'm the emperor of Dwaraka. I own everything here. Nobody is greater than me. Nobody is equal to me. But still, I'm your chariot driver. I'm doing a duty of a friend and a well-wisher. Right? Why he is doing that? Just to teach others by example. That's why he's doing it. Otherwise, Krishna doesn't have to do anything. You see, it's like suppose if you create a company, you know, suppose Kamini Mataji has a company. She creates a company and she owns the company. She knows everything, how the company works, what is the process, she set up everything. And then she owns the company. She appoints a CEO, Chief Executive Officer, and three executive officers. See, one puts in charge of finance, other is taking care of operation in the company, other is taking care of business outside. Now, because she owns everything, she don't have to do anything. And she appointed three people, directors, you take care of it. And what she has to do? Just watch. Just she watch and ensure that. And if she appoints someone to watch also, she don't have to worry anything, right? Because then she knows that, okay, if I am in control, I have my energies are working. I have an influence on the company because it's mine. Legally, I own it. Nobody can take it because if somebody does it, I can fire them. I can remove from the job immediately, right? Then she don't have to do anything. Likewise, Krishna owns everything. He appointed Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva as the directors of the cosmic manifestation. His energy, Maya, the three modes are working. The sun, moon, air, water. He appointed all the demigods as the directors of departments, different department, and they are all working under Brahma, Shiva, or Vishnu. Vishnu is supreme controller of this universe, and under them, Brahma and Shiva is like side by side brothers, equal level almost. But Vishnu is the supreme, and from Vishnu's navel, Brahma came. From Brahma's eyes, Shiva, Rudra appeared. So this is the sequence. So since Krishna appointed everyone and his energies are multifarious energies, see, parasya saktir vividhaiva shuryate. His multifarious energies are working like a owner of a company. The energies work. He don't work, right? Just his appointed people are working for him, right? Just I gave example. So then owner don't have to do anything because he owns it. He knows legally I can take care. But still the owner works, because if he don't work or she don't, suppose Kamini Mataji still has to work, go to the company. Otherwise, what will happen? These people whom she appointed, they will become lazy and crazy. They will think, oh, she's sitting there just taking money, doing nothing, right? Like people start thinking like that. So she has to go sometime just to visit and show them how to work, how to do things, because by the time things diminish, that's why Krishna, he says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavarta bharata. So when there is any discrepancy in the company, Kamini Mataji has to go and ensure that it gets fixed as per rules. That's why Krishna comes. And if it is not, if nobody knows how to do it, then Kamini Mataji had to demonstrate and show it. Okay, this is how you do it. Don't forget it. I'm resetting this. You understand this and don't change it. So Krishna comes, demonstrates how to live a human life in a great manner. At the same time, he demonstrates his energies. He lifts Govardhana Hill and all these different activities just to teach us that don't become lazy. And also to Kamini Mataji to remind that I am the boss. All the executive, you should remember I am the boss. So therefore, you don't forget. Don't do these nonsense things here. Just follow what I said already. So she will leave instructions. Okay, from you forgot last time. Now from here on, here is the instruction. Follow it. Any problem? Connect with my representative, my secretary, and then I'll speak with you. Likewise, Krishna appoints his secretaries or spiritual masters. We have to work with them. We have to respect all the executives, right? And so likewise, with energy of the owner, whole thing is working. But still, owner has to go and so as a matter of duty, how to do things when things don't work properly, and also regularly review it where things are going right, right? So that's the job of Krishna. Though he don't have to do anything, but he's just doing his duty to teach others. Okay, and therefore in our life also, we should do everything, try to do perfect. Why? Not that I like it. I like it, that's good. Even if you don't like it, you should do to teach others, teach your subordinate, your everyone around you, that how should we live our life, right? Okay, text 23. Who wants to read this one? This one is if suppose Kamini Mataji fails to engage in right duty, what will happen? So that's a follow up text. Kamini Mataji, you want to read this one?
Yes, I will read. I will read. यदि ह्ययं न वर्तेयं जातु कर्मण्यत इन्द्रितः मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः. For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my purpose. In order to keep the balance of social tranquility for progress of spiritual life, there is traditional family usage meeting for every civilized man. Although such rules and regulations are for the conditioned soul and the Lord Krishna, because the descendant to establish the principle of religion, he followed the prescribed rules. Otherwise, common man would follow in his footsteps because he is the greatest authority. From the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is understood that Lord Krishna was performing all the religious duties at home and out of home as required of the householder.
You can read next one also.
उत्सिदेयुरि मे लोका न कुर्या कर्म चेदहं शङ्करस्य च कर्ता स्यामो पहन्यामामि महां प्रजा. If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put in reunion. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living things. Purport. Varna Sankrara is unwanted population which disturbs the peace of the general society. In order to check these social disturbances, there are prescribed rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful and organized for spiritual progress in life. When Lord Krishna descends naturally, he deals with such rules and regulation in order to maintain the prestige and necessity of such important performances. The Lord is the father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to Lord. Therefore, whenever there is a general disregard of regulatory principles, the Lord Himself descends and corrects the society. We would, however, note carefully that although we have to follow the footsteps of Lord, we still have to remember that we cannot imitate him. Following and imitating are, are not on the same level. We cannot imitate the Lord by lifting Govardhan hills as the Lord did in his childhood. It is impossible for any human being. We have to follow his instructions, but we may not imitate him at any time. The Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33, 30, 31 affirms. नैनितत् संक्रेच्य मनसापि हे अनीश्वरः वैनश्यन्ति अकारन् मुद्येत यथो हृदो बधिजं विषम् ईश्वर नाम वच सत्यम तथा विकृतितं कविचेत् तेषां यत् स्ववाको यकृतं बुद्धि मम tat samkrite. Oh, one should simply follow the instruction of the Lord and his empowered servants. Their instructions are all good for us, and any intelligent person will perform them as instructed. However, one should guard against trying to imitate their actions. One should not try to drink the ocean of poison in imitation of Lord Shiva. We should always consider the position of the Ishwaras on those who can actually control the movement of the sun and moon as superior. Without such power, one cannot imitate the Ishwaras who are super powerful. Lord Shiva drank poison to the extent of swallowing an ocean. But if any common man tries to drink even a fragment of such poison, he will be killed. There are many pseudo devotees of Lord Shiva who want to indulge the smoking, ganja, marijuana, and similar intoxicating drugs, forgetting that by so imitating the act of Lord Shiva, they are calling death very near. Similarly, there are some pseudo devotees of Lord Krishna who prefer to imitate the Lord in his Rasa Leela, dance of love, forgetting their inability to lift Govardhan hills. It is best, therefore, that one not try to imitate the powerful, but simply follow their instruction, nor should one try to occupy their post without qualification. There are so many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme Godhead. You want me to read more?
Yeah, you can stop here, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So here we are reading two sloka Mataji read that if Krishna fails to perform, what will happen? For example, you know that if the leader talks a lot but doesn't do what they speak, then nobody follows. Actually, they don't. Nobody listens to them, right? So then what will happen? The small house, if the leader is talking nonsense, talking very nice thing, but does nonsense, then nobody will listen to the leader of the house. And same thing if happens, suppose if someone is God and start doing like this, then whole population will not follow anything because they think, what is the point if this person is not doing his duty? How can he ask us to do our duty, right? So it's very important thing to remember that we have to teach by example, not by just words, which is nowadays most of the company's leader or people, they talk very nice, but they are all thieves. They take money, they are doing all nonsense, they are lying, they are liars, pathological lying, continuously. So therefore, there is not a good employee and employer relationship. The employee is always trying to find some ways to find a new job because knows my employer is not trustworthy. He or she can fire me anytime. I can't trust this company. I cannot trust their policies. I'm not sure they'll give me promotion, and therefore employees run away. An employer also trying to maximize the work from employees, trying to exploit them, try to ask them work more and more hours, right? So exploitative mentality cannot sustain longer, and therefore um, Krishna is a god. He has to set up example, and he's teaching us here that we should follow the instructions what he gave. And Prabhupada explaining here, but sometimes people start imitating, like Lord Shiva. He's explaining here. The Lord Shiva followers, they are very unique. They in the name of Shiva, people eat meat, they drink wine, ganja, bhang, all kind of nonsense, and they will have rudrach, kantimala, and they'll say, "Oh, tilak," and I'm Shiva, and they have like this three-line bhabhuti. What do you call it? The ash, and they will claim, "Oh, I am the follower of Shiva," but they are doing all the nonsense. They even don't know who is Shiva. But Shiva is Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. He is the biggest Vaishnava. How can a Vaishnava eat flesh? Did you ever have seen any picture where Lord Shiva is eating meat? Ever? Or not in never, nowhere. He never eats meat. Did you ever saw Shiva drinking ganja? In any scriptures, it's mentioned that he's drinking ganja or
No,
taking drugs.
no.
Nowhere. But why their followers doing all that in the name of Lord Shiva? And if you ask them that why you're doing, sir, ma'am, and they will say, "Oh, Lord Shiva drink poison. He drank poison. He's so." And then this movie and then serials, they saw Shiva with the bhabhuti and then some smoke around him. All these things, bad education, about Shiva. Education is message is going bad, and people start imitating. They start imitating Lord Shiva. So they want to smoke because they want to get intoxicated. But if you ask them, okay, you're trying to imitate Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva drink ocean halahalo poison of the size of an ocean. When the Samudra Manthan happened, the first thing came out is halahal vish, poison. And the Lord Shiva was selected or requested. Why did he do? He's very compassionate. His name is Bhole Shankar, like Bhola. Like he's very compassionate to the living entities. Why? Because he's a Vaishnava. He was very compassionate, seeing that everyone will die because of this poison. The whole planet will destroy. The whole universe will be destroyed. And out of compassion, he became ready to take all the ocean of poison in his body. But he did not drink the poison. He hold it to the neck. That's why his name is Nilakantha, right? So his neck became blue because it was a poison. So he was a Vaishnava. He was compassionate. He did it out of compassion. But nowadays people do intoxication, not out of compassion. They want to kill animals and eat meat, drink wine. But you ask them, take little poison also, because if you want to imitate Shiva, take one drop of poison and then enjoy. Because if you really want to enjoy him, enjoy like Shiva, then you should do it. And they will not do it. Similarly, people want to imitate Lord Krishna and Rasa Leela, dance. But if you ask them, can you lift a big stone also? Because Krishna lifted a Govardhan hill, which was have several hundred miles wide and tall. And can you just lift one stone on the street, big stone? Right then, oh no, I can just do dance, just a Ras Leela dance. I cannot do that. So we should be careful, not imitating, right? Okay. We'll read now 25. Anybody wants to read 25?
I'll read, Prabhuji. No one is there.
Okay. Okay, if anybody wants to read after Nagrani Mataji, please be ready. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Sakta karmanya vidvanso yada kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvantas tada sakta tada saktaschi kirshur loka sangraham. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment for the sake of leading people on the right path. A person in Krishna consciousness and a person not in Krishna consciousness are differentiated by different desires. A Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not conducive to development of Krishna consciousness. He may even act exactly like the ignorant person who is too much attached to material activities, but one is engaged in such activities for the satisfaction of his sense gratification, whereas the other is engaged for the satisfaction of Krishna. Therefore, the Krishna conscious person is required to show the people how to act and how to engage the results of action for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You want me to continue?
No, maybe just little bit, 1 minute, 2 minute discussion. We'll go to the next one. If nobody reads, you can read 26.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we should be very determined here. Krishna is saying, as ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results. Yes, we should work attachment to result. Yes, we should do the same way like the materialistic people do. But the results should be given to Krishna, not to take ourselves, right? That's the difference. That's the only difference. Give you example. Hanuman, Bhakta Hanuman, he went to Lanka and burned the whole Lanka. So the act of burning is bad, right? It's demonic. Like if you're burning someone's house, isn't it? It's very demonic, right? Like hundreds and thousands of people, million, no, lakhs of people may have died in that burning during when Hanuman burned the Lanka, right? So that was bad. But since he did not do for himself, he did not burn Lanka for himself. He burned Lanka for Ram. Therefore, he's glorious. His action is glorious because he burned the Lanka for Ram. Why? Because the Ravana has kidnapped the wife of Ram, right? Mother Sita. Similarly, Arjuna don't wanted to fight for himself. In the chapter 1, you remember, he said, I don't want to fight because I don't want to enjoy this kingdom. I don't want to kill anyone. But after listening Bhagavad Gita, he will do the same thing. But now he will be doing for Krishna's sake, not for himself. He's not taking the result. Even after winning the kingdom, you remember, if you understood Mahabharata, the Pandavas retire immediately almost after some time. They retired. So they don't want to enjoy the kingdom. They did Mahabharata for the sake of Krishna's desire. Okay. Likewise, you can do bhakti, you can do everything the same way. But remember that I am doing for Krishna. Then even if you are involved in as ghastly as killing people in a battle or burning the whole city, your action is glorious. Everybody will glorify because you are working for Krishna. And Krishna is not never sanctions anything which is bad. Remember this. He will never sanction anything which is against the moral code. He sanctioned Mahabharata. Still, a lot of people criticize Krishna for Mahabharata. But if they don't study what happened before the battle of Mahabharata, what was the Kauravas doing, what the whole world was doing, and why did Krishna ensure that everybody get wiped out? You know, because they were disturbing the peace of everyone, and Krishna don't like it. It's it's his kingdom, his creation, and if anybody disturbs it, you will immediately remove them from the job, right? Like example, you take, I was saying Kamini Mataji. Kamini Mataji had a company. If anybody is disturbing the functioning of the company, she will go and remove from the job, you know, because what is the point? I don't want this person in my company because this person is just creating disturbance. And if she asks her HR that, okay, remove this person from the job, but HR says, sorry, ma'am, I cannot do this. I will get sin if I remove this person from the job. Then she has to personally go and do it because or convince HR that, okay, because of these reasons, you should do this, right? Even if that person is your friend or your relative or your family member, the HR has to do the job which boss is asking, right? With the logic, right? So therefore, when you are in Krishna conscious life, remember you should work with attachment, same strong desire to work, passion, you know, intelligence, but the result you offer to Krishna. You say, Krishna, you gave me this body, gave me intelligence, you gave me opportunity, I work for you. I take something to maintain my body, but rest everything I offer it to you. Please allow and give me intelligence how I can engage this in your service, how I can dedicate this in your service. Even if Krishna don't take it, you just pray like this, then Krishna will be happy that, oh, this person is just offering me, recognizing my role in this work, right? So it's act of offering, and Krishna will decide how he wants to engage in his service, right? Okay. So we'll read this last one, then we'll end the session. This 26. Anybody wants to read?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Okay, Mataji.
Na buddhi vedam gana janayat ajnanam karma sanginam joshayat sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharana. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by walking in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. Purport. Vedascha sarvair aham eva vedaya. That is the end of all Vedic rituals. All rituals, all performances of sacrifices, and everything that is put into the Vedas, including all direction for material activities, are meant for understanding Krishna.
who is ultimate goal of life. But because the conditioned soul do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study the Vedas to that end. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a realized soul in Krishna consciousness should not disturb others in their activities or understanding, but he should act by showing how the results of all work can be dedicated to the service of Krishna. The learned Krishna conscious person may act in such a way that the ignorant person working for sense gratification may learn how to act and how to behave. Although the ignorant man is not to be disturbed in his activities, a slightly developed Krishna conscious person may directly be engaged in the service of Lord without waiting for other Vedic formulas. For this fortunate man, there is no need to follow the Vedic rituals because by direct Krishna consciousness, one can have all the results one would otherwise derive from following one's prescribed duties. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Rituparna. Ji. Okay. So this last section, this last sloka. Now the question would be, Krishna saying, don't disrupt the mind of ignorant men attached to fruitive result or prescribed duty. There are so many people, they just don't want to work to enjoy, right? I mean, most of people in the world. So we should not disturb them, because if we disturb them, they will not do their duty nicely, right? And don't ask them to stop work. So what you can do, you can just engage their work in Krishna consciousness in an expert manner. If they engage their work in Krishna consciousness, then gradually they will elevate their consciousness. They will understand what is my life, what is my purpose, what I am doing, right? So that's what the spiritual or Krishna conscious people do, is to engage everyone, not disturbing their mind. Whatever they are doing, let them do it. For example, Arjuna was a Kshatriya. His whole life training was to fight, right? He don't wanted to fight and get retired. He wanted to get retirement in forest. He wanted to take Banaprasth. He was ready to give up. Krishna did not approve that. He said, Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, you do your duty. You fight because it's your duty. Because if you don't do it, even if you go to forest, there also you will fight because it is your nature, what you can do. This is what you're born with. You're born with the nature of a Kshatriya. You're trained as a Kshatriya. You lived as a Kshatriya. How can you say that I'm gonna get retired? And everybody is looking forward towards you because you are the greatest warrior on this planet. And if you become important and you don't want to fight, then what will happen to so what will happen to the world? You know that these nonsense people will flourish and the people will suffer. You are a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means one who give protection. And if you're not ready to give protection to the public in general by killing these kings which are destroying the planet, it's better that you do that. So Krishna engaged his natural propensity of Arjuna, which is fighting in the battle of Kurukshetra. And the end of the battle, Pandavas, or especially Arjuna, realized that yes, what Krishna did is right. It was nice to do it, right? And now Arjuna is glorious. Otherwise, nobody would listen to this conversation or Arjuna, right? Because he was important. He did not fight for his own family, his own country, his own men. Why we should even listen to him, right? So that's the summary. So essentially, in summary, in a minute, I'll tell you what did we learn. We learned that we should do our duty as a matter of duty, whatever duty we are in, whatever part of life we are in. But why we should do it? Krishna is saying to show other as an example that how to live. And while doing this, offer your results to Krishna. Because if you don't offer, you will be bound by the actions and reactions of those results. To become free from the results, you offer your work result to Krishna as a matter of gratitude because he is anyways supplying everything to you. So why don't you recognize it? So that's and if you don't do it anyways, it will be taken away at the time of death, right? At the time of death, Krishna will forcefully take it. So rather than giving forcefully, why don't you give voluntarily to him, right? That is better, right? So that's a summary, and we'll continue reading. How many sloka remaining in this chapter? Let me see. We are in 26. We finished 27. So next session we should be able to finish it, I believe. Oh, how many? 42. Okay, so two more sessions. I think we should finish it. 43. Yeah. So next week I think we'll finish chapter 3. All right. Anybody has any questions, comments?